In this build, we will build a super agent that manages 3 other agents. So we have a super agent, El Jefe, the boss, who will be managing your personal finances, your email inbox, and your calendar. Through El Jefe, you'll be able to talk about your personal finances, who to send an email to, when to create a calendar event, all without ever opening these apps. We set it up one time and it runs all the time. Imagine all the time you can get back by chatting instead of searching. Let's get to it. Learning this stuff alone is tough. That's why I created a private community where you can get answers, share your wins, and connect with people on the same journey. Join us. The link is in the description. I'll see you inside. We're going to set up the orchestration agent, and this agent will be able to delegate the tasks that we ask it to complete to other agents aligned with it and assigned to it. So we will be able to message stuff about personal finances, emails, calendars in this build, but you can quickly see, just theoretically, this one agent managing 3 agents in a build that we can do in 30 minutes right now, let alone as these get a little bit more capable, you can see one agent managing thousands of agents or even more. So this is a great productivity unlock right here. And as time goes on, it'll just get even more wild. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, so the first thing we want to do, come in here, we will do the agent. And this is going to be our orchestration agent. Great. So we have the agent. We want to define its role below. So this is where we can prompt it and tell it how to behave. And we also want to prompt in here how to connect to the other 3 agents that we build. So I don't want to put in the prompt yet because I just want to get the shell of this agent, and then we'll go through and build the other 3 agents step by step. And then when we've built the other 3 agents, we can tie it back up to this and we can put the prompt in here at the end. So for the chat model, I'm going to use OpenAI. You want to tie your OpenAI account. If you haven't done that, it's not your regular OpenAI account. You have to set that up. You can set it up through here. I'm going to use 4.1 mini. So we have our chat. Now for memory, you have a bunch of options here. You can use these options. For this example, I'm going to use simple memory. It's just email, my financial statements, and calendars. And for here, what we want to do on the tool, now the tool is where we will add other agents, and we will go through the build of the 3 other agents one by one. So the first one we'll do is a personal finance agent. Second one we'll do is a email agent. And the third one we'll do is a calendar agent. So we'll tie those 3 together, tie it up to this agent, which we can call El Jefe, the boss. And after we build 3 agents, like I said, again, we'll put the prompt into El Jefe so it has some guidance on how to behave and when to route things in a certain direction. So the first agent we'll do is a personal finance agent, and we'll start that one right now. Quick pause. If this video is remotely helpful, hit the subscribe button and we'll level up together. We'll click the plus. These are nodes here. And we will go ahead and add a trigger manually node. So every time we click this, it will execute the workflow and the thing that we're asking it to do. So here in the edit field node, what we're doing is just putting file name. And for the value, I'm going to put the URL of a Google Drive Excel file that I have that just includes all my financial data. So all my bank statements, I just drop in the Google Drive file and it will just pull that information from the URL. Clicking the plus again, we will add Google Drive. Here we will do download file. I connected my Google Drive account. You can check the channel. There is a 2-minute video to set up your Google Drive account, walks you through how to connect that. So since I'm connected, if I click from the list, it will just show me a bunch of documents in my Google Drive. I have that option to find the document and select it. I can also just paste the URL. So I have my financial data in a file and I'm updating that on Google Drive, and I'll just drop the URL here so that we can connect it to the Pinecone vector store, which we will add next. So I'll put the URL. Next node we want to do is Pinecone vector store. Add documents to vector store because we're adding the financial documents from Google Drive to the vector database. So I connected my Pinecone account here, and I'll just quickly walk you through what it would be like to set this up for the first time. This is the page. You can go ahead and sign up here. You can use Gmail, different email credentials, and once you sign up, it'll take you to a dashboard. We're on the dashboard now, and you can see the database. We have some indexes here. You can go ahead and create an index, and once you click create an index, you can kind of name it. So we could say test index, name it whatever you want. And for this, the 3 small is more than enough for the embedding model. Dimensions 1536, important to move that if we're using OpenAI here. And you can just leave all of this as is. So you just click create an index, and here you go. You see you have your test index now in Pinecone. You want to come over here to the left to API keys. Click on that. It'll present you with your API credentials. You can copy and paste those over into N8N, and that will allow N8N to talk to Pinecone. Back here in N8N, I went ahead and connected my API for Pinecone. So now N8N and Pinecone can speak to each other. And from the list here, if I just drop it down, I will be able to see all of my indexes, and I can go ahead and select the index that I created for my personal finances. So we went ahead and selected test index, and we will use that. And now for the embedding model, we did OpenAI 3 small, and we'll go ahead and keep that as is. Now for the document, we want to use the default data loader. We are not sending JSON. We are sending, you can go ahead and select binary. If you're not sending it in JSON, if you're sending PDFs or images, etc., you just go ahead and select binary. And we can leave all of this as is, or actually we want to move this to custom. For the text splitter, we will use the recursive text splitter. Chunk size, this is splitting off the data into chunks and storing it into the database. So we can leave it at 1,000 for this, and we can just add a little overlap of 100. Just keep the continuity of the data. If you ever have any questions on the information you're storing, or how large your chunk size should be, or your chunk overlap, you can just literally go ahead and ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek or whatever LLM, your Gemini, and just ask it, hey, what would you suggest for the chunk size? This is what I'm doing. I'm uploading my personal finances, how many files I have, or if you're uploading books or whatever you're uploading, you can go ahead and ask it, and it'll give you a appropriate size. Continuing on, we will add a question and answer chain. So here we are. We just leave that stock. And why are you over there? The model we want to add to it, you can select any model that you want. We will go ahead and use 4.1 mini for this, more than enough to speak to your personal finances. Retriever, we will add our Pinecone retriever. So we will add the vector store retriever. Vector store, we will add the Pinecone vector store here. And now again, from this list, if we click the drop down, you will see the index, the test index in this case, but that contains my finances. And we went ahead and added that. And for the embedding model, we would just do OpenAI's embedding model. We add the 3 small, great. And the final item we want to add is a chat trigger. So we can just go ahead, connect this. Now, if we execute this workflow, we just come up here, click the play button, and this will just run through the whole process. It'll download the file from Google Drive, and it will store it to the Pinecone vector database here. So click play. This is completed, and we have an item here. I will take this financial agent, move it over to our super agent build, I'll plug in the financial agent into the super agent, and then we can move on, and then we'll do the email agent build, the calendar agent build, and we'll connect those, and at the end we'll run it as a super agent. Back on the super agent El Jefe build right here, we can go ahead and connect another agent. So if you don't see the AI agent tool, you just have to go ahead and update your N8N, which you can do here on the side panel. So we just get these out of the way. And okay, so this is our financial assistant, our personal financial assistant. And what did we do last time? We used OpenAI 4.1 mini. We have simple memory. And then we also added the Pinecone vector store. So for this, we do the Pinecone vector store. And again, from the list, we created the index. So if we come here, the index will be there. We have our test index from Pinecone. And finally, we can just add the OpenAI embedding model here, 3 small. So here we are, we have El Jefe, and tied to El Jefe is our financial agent that we just built. So El Jefe already is working with one agent. We can go ahead now and create the Gmail agent, and we'll be able to connect that to El Jefe as well. First node we will go ahead and add is the agent. And we have the chat function connected. Now we see here we want to add a chat model. You can see you have many different options: Anthropic, Gemini. I'm going to go ahead and use, for this example, the 4.1 mini. You also have many options here. It really depends on your use case. But for emails, Anthropic has a really good one for emails as well. You can use that if you so choose. For memory, you saw we had some options. Simple memory is more than enough here. And now the tool. So we're setting up our agent to be able to be our email assistant. So we will search Gmail. I have my Google account connected. There is a 2-minute explainer in a video on the channel that will show you how to do this. It's literally 2 minutes long. You have to go to Google Cloud Console, but if you need help with that, go check that video out. Here we have options for different operations. So we can do delete emails, read emails, send emails, reply to emails. For the agent that we're building out, we want it to be very functional in terms of sending, replying. For myself, send, reply, and more or less create drafts. That's the functionality I typically look for. Here we have the ability to add the emails that we're going to send to, but since we've connected it to the agent and the model, we can just click this over here, and as it says, it will let the model define who to send the email to, the subject as well, and also the message. So by giving these to the agent, that just lets the agent do the heavy lift. They'll figure out the subject, they'll figure out the message, and they'll figure out the email address. So I like to send a message, and also for Gmail, the ability to reply to emails. So here in reply, again, we'll let the model define this. We'll let the model define the message. And now we'll add another tool here. For this, instead of send, this will be get many. So this allows the model to search the inbox, and you can set a limit here, because if you're constantly going through, you can reach limits if you're not on the paid plan. But even if you're on the paid plan, you don't want to be going through the hundreds or thousands of emails. It's not a good use of the model's use case. So I just set a limit to 5 here. And finally, I like to create drafts. So if I have ideas from an email or a conversation, or I know I have to do a follow-up, I'll just save it as a draft in my inbox. So Here, instead of message, we'll go to draft, and you have the ability to just create a draft for yourself. Again, I'm outsourcing this to the model. I'm outsourcing the message to the model as well. And here we are. So it looks a little, but this is what we set up. So we have the chat function, chats with the AI agent. We are using ChatGPT's model. You can, again, select different kind of model if you want. We're using simple memory, and I have 4 functionalities here. Send an email, reply to an email, go through my inbox, and create a draft. Now, just to show you how this works, I'm not using Whisper or any other functionality. I'm actually going to type it in. But the great shortcut is if you're using, for example, Whisper, and you're just talking to your computer and you just talk instead of having to type, that just speeds up the interaction so much. So for example, if I sit here and say, and I just have this up in a workflow, so if you're working, doing other things, you're just literally in the chat box telling your agent what to do. And again, if you use Whisper, it's an app that lets you talk to your computer and it completes the task. It's voice to text. Email fit, I put the email address to remind him to bring cookies to the party on Saturday. Hit enter. We can see the agent working. And now, what I should get, I've sent a reminder email to Fit to bring cookies to the party on Saturday. Is there anything else you'd like me to do? Again, if you have Whisper set up, you can literally just talk to your computer. So you're not even typing. It just speeds up everything you're trying to execute so much faster because you're not rate limited by your availability of having your hands free to type a message, whereas you can just chat to your computer while doing other things. All right, so if I check my email, we should see I should have received an email reminding me to bring cookies to the party on Saturday. So we'll check here's my email. So hello Fit, just a friendly reminder to bring cookies to the party this Saturday. Looking forward to seeing you there. What did we just do? We set up an agent in less than 5 minutes. It's the simplest form where you actually have to type to the agent. I wrote it a quick message. It executed this for me. I didn't have to open Gmail. I didn't have to find emails to do anything. I literally just typed into the chat box and it completed it for me. You can set this up from voice command using Whisper on your computer, and you don't even have to have your hands free. It's just a thought and the email gets sent. It really helps you speed up your productivity. Another thing I like to do is just create drafts. So if I know I have to email someone, want to see faster results, my community is packed with people who are already building and automating. Get access to their strategies and shortcuts. We're diving deep into the topics and I'm sharing all the best strategies. Join us. The link is in the description. I'll see you inside. Or I know I have to email them in a couple of days or a week or whatever the case is. Well, the thoughts are fresh in my head. Say we just got off a meeting and a part of the email that I have to send next week has some information that we just talked about. Well, it's top of mind and fresh. I'll usually start the draft, put the relevant information there. So when I see it, when the time comes, it's already baked in better than I would have thought of it a week later. So I can sit here and say, I just got out of a meeting, and I can say, we talked about investing. Imagine you're in a meeting and you took a bunch of notes or whatever the case may be, you're on a call. You can literally just copy and paste those, put them in the chat, tell the chat, hey, put these in a draft email for me. Amazing. So I said, create a draft email with these contents. I click send. The agent's thing, it's completed. If I go and check my draft email, it should be there. Let's go check. And here we are. So I'm in my draft folder and here we go. We have the contents of the notes that I took and I gave it to the agent to create. So it's created this draft for me. So next time I check my emails, it would be there. The ability to create an email, reply to an email, create a draft. There are more options. These are the use cases that I like to use the agent for. But again, that took no time at all. It wasn't that difficult. You can really set it up for your Gmail. Now, if you just think of all the times you spend your email, imagine doing other things and just quickly sending a message to your chatbot and it takes care of this for you. We can go ahead and copy this over to the LHefe super agent. We just copied in the email agent, if we just bring up the email agent to El Jefe, we can delete the agent and actually the chat because we want to work from El Jefe. So we'll go to Tool, we'll go to Agent, and we can add that later just for the build. So we have chat model here, we connect it, the memory, we connect this as well. And now for the tools, we just go ahead and link our email use cases. Quick pause. If this video is remotely helpful, hit the subscribe button and we'll level up together. And there we are. So far, we have El Jefe, our personal financial advisor, expense advisor, and our email agent. So the next build, we'll set up a calendar tool, and in the calendar tool, we'll be able to add that to El Jefe as well. First node we will add is the agent, and here it is triggered by the chat. We will add a chat model, and you can add whatever model you want. I'm going to use 4.1 mini. This is the LLM that is running the model. You have memory options. We're going to go with simple memory. We'll leave this as stock. And now for the tool, you can just search calendar, and you have Google Calendar here. So what can we do? If we click the drop down here for the operation, you want to go ahead and connect your Google Calendar API. You can find another video on the channel to do that. You can create, delete. Get will pull your calendar events for the model to go through, update an event, and you can have some custom API calls. Imagine you need to create an event. You just talk to your chatbot and say, hey, create an event, I have a meeting, add these 3 people, and send the invite for this date. You never even opened any app associated with these. So it just gives you so much flexibility, so much faster. It's really useful just in terms of getting stuff done quickly. So if we click plus here, we go to calendar. Again, we can do delete an event. So I will defer this to the model. So clicking this, it gives the model the ability to go through and find the calendar events that I'm talking about when I tell it to do something. And the other tool will add the calendar again. And for this, we can do update an event. Again, defer to the model, right? So I'll just, by clicking this button, the model will define it. And there we are. So baseline, you chat with this agent. It uses OpenAI 4.1 mini. It can create an event for you, delete an event for you, or update an event for you. And we'll also add this option, which is to retrieve events. You want to be mindful if you have a really booked calendar, how many events you're retrieving as you engage the model, because those instances add up. So I'm just going to leave it at 5 for the test. And here we are. This model can do what I dread doing, is going into Google Calendar and creating events and dealing with any of that. So we can go ahead and chat with the model. And one thing that we'll do here is say, hello, please. No, we don't even want to use please. That wastes energy in the models, typing unnecessary items. Create an event for hello at. Okay, sorry, we did not drop on here from the calendar. We want it from my calendar. There we are. So create an event for Sunday as a reminder to call Mike. All right, so we click send. This is completed. So now if I go check my calendar, I should have an event there for Sunday, August 3rd. And here we are. There is an event called Mike at 8 p.m. I never had to open up a calendar. I didn't have to do anything. I literally talked to my chatbot and it completed the request for me. Back on the notes here, we can just go ahead and copy this and take it to El Jefe to plug it into El Jefe. Here on El Jefe, we paste it in the agent, but we just want to add the agent tool. So we'll come to El Jefe, tool, agent tool. We'll add the prompts in a second, and we'll just drag this so we can see, again, chat model, OpenAI, simple memory, and these are the use cases. I'm going to create calendar events, delete calendar events, update calendar events, and also the node to get calendar events. So here we are, a simple super agent. El Jefe is managing my finances, my email, and my calendar. So now we can go ahead and add prompts to the agents to give them a little bit of direction in terms of what we're looking for. The final step here is to go ahead and add prompts. So if we go to El Jefe, I added a prompt. You can pause it and read that. Just telling it it is the top AI agent. I also gave it a system prompt here. The final thing to go through are the prompts. So I gave El Jefe a prompt. You are my top AI agent. There is the system message. You can pause these to read them. But again, it's art and science prompting. So whatever works for you. Here is the description for the finance agent. And in here, this is what it would look like. And you could just click here to let El Jefe decide. And the finance agent, I have this, letting the model decide. Here is the system message. So this is the system message. For the email agent, again, letting the model define it. And here is the system message for the email agent. You'll pause it and write it. Again, defined by the model. Here is the system message for the calendar. So what we can do is open the chat and talk to El Jefe. I'm telling El Jefe to send an email that includes the previous month's travel expenses. And I'm also telling El Jefe to create a calendar event for Saturday morning for a golf outing. So for El Jefe to complete this task, El Jefe has to pull finances, speak to an email agent, and also speak to the calendar agent. So we'll see El Jefe in action. El Jefe has confirmed that he's ready to send the email, but he wants to ask if there's a specific location or any other details about the calendar event. Yeah, I was lazy. I just said put a calendar event for 8. I should specify the attendees, but I'm going to say it's okay on the attendees, just send the email. So I said send the email and create the calendar event, and we'll see El Jefe in action. The calendar event titled Golf has been successfully created. The email with the travel expenses has been sent to my email. I literally typed this in. I didn't set up Whisper to speak to it yet, but you could literally just speak to El Jefe. Hey, El Jefe. Yes, fit. Send this email, do this, blah, and here we are. I didn't have to open an app. I didn't have to do anything, and El Jefe took care of it for me. It's 2025, AI, early innings. You can already do an agent managing agents with no code, just hanging out on YouTube watching this video. Imagine in a few years from now, it's going to be something. But I hope you found this build useful. You can see that you can send requests to agents and get so much done way faster. Oh yeah, let's go check the email. El Jefe did send the email. Here we have it, where it details the previous month's travel expenses. There we are. We completed El Jefe. El Jefe is only managing 3 agents. El Jefe is so respectful, he came back and asked, are you sure you don't want to add attendees to the golf outing? Should I send the email with the travel expenses? This is 2025. This is the worst this technology will ever be. It will only get better exponentially. And it's going to be very interesting in the future when people say, what are people going to do? Because to be honest, El Jefe is faster than a human. And humans will just fall further and further behind. So I think a lot of people are not thinking about a post maybe work society for a large majority of folks, but this just gives you a glimpse of what is possible today. And I hope you incorporate some of these tools in your life. It'll get you time back to spend with your family, do your hobbies, whatever you want to do, and you spend less time in your Gmail or making calendar events in Google, which are probably the worst, or reading through your finances line item by line item when you can just talk to them. I hope you found the build useful, and I'll see you in the next one.